Greetings, welcome to the channel. This is Ready Set Go, and today we open the garage on the bike that I'll be reviewing and showcasing for you over the next series of videos. This is the Triumph Speed Twin. The Triumph Speed Twin. Sitting at the top of the British brand's Bonneville Roadster category, the Speed Twin offers a smooth blend of time-honoured looks, raw power, cutting-edge technology, exquisite finish. Where its heritage siblings like the Bonnevilles, Thruxtons, Scramblers, and even the Street Twin embody the style of times past, the Speed Twin is timeless. Classic in design, yet packing a fierce modern punch, the Speed's mighty 1200cc twin engine summons an eye-watering 112 Nm of torque that, when unleashed at 4,950 RPM, will drag you to your destination. It's not a question of how fast you can go, it's how long you can hold on for. Metal is everywhere, from the parallel twin engine, the tubular steel and aluminium chassis, swooping exhaust lines, side panels featuring brushed aluminium etched logos, the brushed aluminium mudguards, the bar end mirrors. This bike is not trying to fool anyone. The headlamp is as classic as you can get, and I love the simplicity of it. Ask anyone who doesn't know anything about motorcycles to draw a motorcycle, and chances are they'll draw something that resembles the look of the Speed Twin. But it's not all classic, because the Speed Twin features, in my opinion, one of the best rear ends of any motorcycle, looking like it's been forged in a custom shop. With a welcoming seat height that even my grandmother could swing her leg over, the Twin offers a firm but accommodating cockpit. The seat is broad enough for you to shift your weight around and has plenty of room for a pillion. The riding position has a roadster focus to it. You are not sitting completely upright in an armchair, you are poised with a slight lean forward, giving you a clear indication as to what this bike is all about. The Speed Twin is a bike designed to handle almost all manner of riding situations, but do it with an air of sophistication. Beyond the teardrop metal tank is a dash that is pure Bonneville. Twin round clock faces in sweeping hands surround LCD displays that tell you everything you need to know, including which of the 3 riding modes you are tapping into. When it's time to slow, 4-pot Brembo calipers and sizable 305mm discs take care of everything with reassuring ease, while the Twin exhaust burbles and pops as you dive down through the gearbox. The Twin makes no claims to be hipster or be a mix of the old and the new. The Speed Twin is simply a thoroughbred. Understated and underestimated, the Twin is a wolf in sheep's clothing if the sheep was wearing the finest tailored suit. That 1200cc Twin just gently throbs throughout the bike. You can really feel it. Goodness me, that's so much grunt, so much grunt. Straight up to 70, 80 miles an hour with absolutely no problem at all. Just twist that throttle in 4th, 5th or 6th and the bike just launches itself up to speed. In terms of the riding position, it's as I've mentioned just before, the riding position, there is a definite purpose to this riding position. You're not sitting, you know, vertically, you're not sitting on your butt so much. There is a definite lean forward onto the handlebars. Let's just overtake this truck a second. This bike just pulls effortlessly. Yeah, so the riding position, there's definitely a focus. You're slightly leant forward. There's a tiny bit of weight onto the wrists, onto the handlebars here, but it's nothing that's painful at all. But it's just, it gives it that roadster focus. You know, you're not sitting back. It's not. I think the Street Twin, the smaller sibling to this bike, that has a much more relaxed, a much more all-day riding position. But this Speed Twin definitely has a focus to it. So today's first ride is essentially a small getting acquainted with the Speed Twin, and we'll be doing a much more in-depth review. I will be getting my teeth into this bike in the following videos, so if you want to stay up to date with that, then please do subscribe to see future Speed Twin content. But today's all about getting acquainted, and right away I feel very at home on this bike. The gear action is very smooth. Such a beautiful sound, and this particular bike has the standard cans on. I know you can get the Leo Vance end cans. So that seat height is very manageable. My previous bike, the Tracer, had quite a high seat height, and I wasn't able to really put both feet down, flat foot especially, but this Speed Twin, as you can see, both feet are almost flat footing. And I say this riding position is slightly poised. You're very roadster. We're not cruising along like some of the other bikes in the Triumph Heritage range where you'll be sitting more on your butt. This is there's definitely a focus, you know, position, you know, pushing yourself a little bit forward. It really does give you an insight as to the character of this bike. So the character of this bike is a very timelessly designed Triumph Roadster that has all of the grunt and mod cons that you would expect from a modern day Triumph. And I love these clocks. I've seen the needles just popping around as you just come down the gears there. As always in my videos, I like to talk about the switch gears on the bike. It's always a good indicator as to the quality of finish of the machine that you're riding. And as usual with Triumph, the quality of the switch gears is exemplary. We've got very definite tactile feel throughout these buttons and switches here. It is very confidence inspiring. That's very much the buzzword at the moment. So many bikes want to be confidence inspiring. Inspire their riders to feel like the hero of the journey. And I think that perhaps this bike often gets overlooked in terms of character. I think everyone, you know, automatically when they think of the heritage and the more roadster, these naked, classically designed roadsters, I know people tend to lean towards the scramblers of the world and the heritage range. I know that the Kawasaki Z900 RS gets a whole heap of attention. Of course, that is a beautifully finished bike, very easy to throw around, even though it's a slightly larger machine. But I think the Speed Twin doesn't get as much attention as some of those other machines. I think the Speed Twin is quite often overlooked. But I could go all day on this bike. This is so easy to jump onto and start riding. In terms of seat comfort, I think the seat is a little bit harder, a little bit firmer than the, for example, the Kawasaki Z900 RS. It's definitely softer than a Ducati Scrambler, and it's a Kawasaki. So I think it's kind of a mix of in between those two kind of seats. It is firm, but it's not. I don't think I'm going to be in pain after 30 minutes like on the Scramblers. So we're just cruising along in town for the moment, just while I get acquainted with the bike. I do realise I'm in sport mode. I've just looked down at the tack and you can just see it down there. Just in that LCD display of the clock there on the right hand side, it does label the word sport. I think the Speed Twin does have the 3 riding modes: road, rain and sport. Let me just see if I can quickly switch through between the modes. There you go, rain, road, just 2 presses of the mode switch and you can filter through. Just riding through the town here, and all the road is quite bumpy, has been remodeled, and the Speed Twin suspension setup here is just absorbing all of those bumps that you kind of grit your teeth before you go through. You see it coming and you grit your teeth, but then the Speed Twin just glides over them quite nicely, just really smoothing out this kind of inner city experience. It really does make a very smooth job of everything. It's Meghead on board. Red Dwarf. Hey. So as we're just kind of exiting the town, I'm just trying to think of a way to describe how the bike handles these kind of town environments. The Speed Twin does have a slight weight to it. It's a very compact and low down weight. It very much reminds me of when you go into a camera store and you hold on to a very expensive camera. You know it has that expensive weight to it, and that's what the Speed Twin has. So darting in around the town, it's not really a problem, but you've got to, do it with purpose and glide into those nooks and glide into those opportunities where you want to progress. It's not as light as perhaps the incoming Trident or Scramblers or other, more town commuter-based bikes. The Speed Twin can handle that perfectly well, but you've got to really, have a purpose with where you're going and glide into those opportunities to progress through the traffic. So we're presently in road mode. The bike does have 3 modes: road, rain and sport. I'm going to leave it in road mode at the moment, and we're going to tack up the bit of the freeway here, the motorway as we say here in the UK. Just blipping down that gearbox. So nice, just hearing the engine growl beneath you. It does now and again, it spurts and pops in the exhaust. Oh, we have some bikes here. I don't know what that was, but we do have, I think, a multi-strada. Yes. So the highlight of the Speed Twin, from all the marketing content and obviously the name badge on the side of the engine, that 1200cc high torque engine, and it really is a high torque engine. Whichever gear you're in, you twist that throttle and the bike pulls you up to speed. And it does it in quite a calming way. The exhaust just kind of grumbles and pops beneath you as you accelerate up to speed. It's not a frantic experience as you get up to those higher digits. The Speed Twin just effortlessly pulls you, says, okay, that's where you want to go, let's go. And then it just takes you there. Let's go back around. Going down, using those Brembo stoppers to full effect. They're very nice and very reassuring. So now we're coming up to speed in terms of the riding experience on the naked, the wind protection, the wind blast. As you would imagine, there is absolutely no kind of wind protection on the Speed Twin. There's no screen here at all, just the clocks. And I often say when you're riding a naked bike, especially one as powerful as this and as capable as this, having a bit of wind blast is not a bad thing really, just to remind you of just how fast you're going. So that's not really an issue, it's all very expected. But yeah, there's definitely wind blast here on the chest, on the helmet, on the shoulders. My knees are surprisingly okay, my thighs are not too bad. The tank seems to, you know, your legs kind of swap nicely into the tank here, which kind of slims down the profile. But there's definite wind blast all over the top end. But again, that's not really a problem, it's kind of expected. A little bit greasy there. It has been quite windy here in the UK, and it is a slightly windy day. I'm cruising along at 70 miles an hour here, and there is a bit of buffeting on the head, a pressure on the shoulders. So if you're thinking about taking this bike on a longer journey, perhaps a screen would be a good investment, just to smooth out this experience at the top here, make it a bit more easy on the shoulders. Unlike a sports bike where the wind blast will aid you in taking your weight off the wrists, there's not, as I've mentioned before, there's not a lot of weight on the wrist at all. You just have this very purposeful riding position, but there is a bit of buffeting here, and 70 miles an hour on a slightly windy day, you may want to think about getting a screen, just a fly screen perhaps, just to direct that wind flow just a bit up and away from the neck area. The mirrors that are, I think, stock with the Speed Twin, these bar-in mirrors, they're absolutely grand in terms of giving full visibility. The little teardrop, this kind of curved shape here, just adds a little bit more visibility. And they work a wonder. I can see a bit of my shoulder in them, but other than that, they provide really good visibility out the back. I was just checking there to make sure the GoPro is still recording. I've upgraded recently my GoPro, so I thought I'd invest in some better tech. This is the camera I've used a lot of the time before. This little GoPro here is Session 5, which is fine, but it's a bit dated. 1080p, 30 frames a second, but there's no stability or anything. The picture quality isn't great. It's fine for an additional camera, but I'm actually sporting the new GoPro Hero 9 Black on the helmet here. So this is 5K, 30 frames a second with the Super Boost stabilization on. I'd be quite keen to see what that footage looks like. I haven't tested the Street Twin, the smaller sibling to this bike, but I do recall when sitting on it, it was a very, at-home feeling. It's very low seats, flat footing, even at my height at 5 foot 8 inches. I'm not the tallest of rider. But the Street Twin had a very all-day and user-friendly riding position when you sat on it, and the Speed Twin just seems to take all of those elements and just inject grunt into it. I think the Street Twin is that 900cc high torque engine, isn't it? And this is the 1200cc, but yeah, it takes all those those kind of reassuring elements, user-friendliness of the Street Twin, just gives it a bit more. It's like a Street Twin on steroids. And again, when you're looking at this in the showroom and on the websites, you know, this is a classic looking, very timeless looking design of a bike, but don't let that fool you. This bike packs a serious punch. Burble, burble, burble. I've not really seen that in other Speed Twin videos, the exhaust notes. When you watch a lot of these on-ride footage, people praise the KTM 790 and 890 Dukes for that wonderful burble as you come down the gearbox. But again, there's not really much hoo-ha that's been made about the Speed Twin, and I think that's a bit unjust, really. This bike has oodles of character. Oh, bit of a wet corner here, just be careful around that. Just spray there. Nice bit of engine braking there, just coming down into second, just popping up those revs, and the engine just brings the bike to a gradual stop. So let's just let's put it into 6th gear then. Let's see this high torque engine do what it does. 6th gear, 40 miles an hour. And the bike just throbs and pulls and cuffs you up to. So there you have the Triumph Speed Twin. I will be exploring this bike in a bit more detail in the upcoming videos. If you'd like to stay up to date with that, then please make sure to subscribe. If you've liked this video, please give a thumbs up to support the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, if you have any questions about the Speed Twin, then please drop a comment below and ask away. I will do my very best to respond to those questions in the upcoming videos. So if there's anything on your mind about this bike, please put a comment below. I'll do my very best to get those questions answered. I've been Eddie Set Go from me and the Speed Twin. I'll see you next time.